Hello, and thanks for tuning in to the Kitchen Table Adventures podcast. Join us on our Pathfinder 2nd Edition adventure brought to you right here from our kitchen table. Kitchen Table Adventures is available on all major podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the episode.
So, who wants to make a happy story about what we did last time?
I can make a happy story about how we fought a very sad hag. But yeah, no, we fought a hag in some abandoned old ruins. Ash ended up turning into one of those prunes.
I absorbed all the moisture into the air straight into my skin and just kind of puffed.
Yeah. In case you haven't picked it up yet, Ash is cursed.
It's a curse.
It's a curse.
Did we return back yet to get all of our stuff? Or get the reward?
I think we stopped right at the temple.
Yeah.
Basically, you guys returned back to town, went straight to a...
We inquired a few monks, and then before
They were like, Vishnu.
you're like, yeah, sorry, we ain't strong enough to help you, so go somewhere else, please.
Fuck off, please.
Have you tried sleeping it off? I heard in certain editions of this game, a power nap will fix that.
Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back?
It just makes me look at that, think of that gigantic sword that I'm carrying. It's like,
Yeah. Just insert.
turning off and on again. Just,
I mean, that would be a surprise at children's parties. Just keister that giant sword.
Where did that come from?
The rectum of holding.
just the way we lifted this curse, we just splat and then resurrect. Done.
That's actually a viable tactic to lift a curse.
Not sure I can resurrect you yet, though.
The killer first. Now, who can resurrect?
Yeah, let's do that. Let me barbecue her.
Just wake up with like one arm. That's it.
The conscience shoved into an arm.
Just the arm and a head, and just kind of roll around. When I'm
Like
raged
Thing.
up, because I'm very upset about my current predicament.
Just like
could be the thing.
just a head and just
Just
a
grow
head.
some legs and we'll fuck off.
You have that, the Japanese pirate in Pirates of the Caribbean 2. The one whose head gets lopped off.
Oh yeah.
He's like, wait, buddy, come back here.
Oh, with the
Fucking pirates.
the hermit crab.
Yeah, and
head.
he-
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right, yeah.
Turns in on himself, becomes a hermit crab, walks off.
Anyhow.
As they do. So yeah, last time the temple proved kind of useless for breaking this curse. A more potent spellcaster was necessary. I think you returned back to the inn.
We were
Not
about
even
to.
yet.
Not even.
No,
No.
we were at the temple still.
About to leave.
About to leave. Yeah. So we head to the inn.
So you had towards the inn.
Everything's closed at this point, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's late at night, so
Including my heart.
Total eclipse of the heart.
You
Okay,
can break your bone.
Once we make it to the inn, I'd like to inquire if there are any bookstores with scholarly treatises in town.
So as you guys get back to the inn, Hija, did I introduce your name?
Nope.
The innkeeper you met before isn't there. It's late at night and she's worked most of the day, so right now there's mostly just a night guard, more or less, for if there's any entry late at night, but mostly just keep an eye out. Not the innkeeper you've met before.
Mm-hmm.
You want to inquire about...
Inquire if there are any bookstores that specialize mostly on scholarly treatises.
That's a natural one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's a no. This town does not have anything of the sort. Okay.
Okay, no, this town is...
It implodes.
This town doesn't exist. It was all
It's-
part of the hag's imagination.
mostly focused as a trading post
Mhm.
between several places, because it kind of borders a few countries. It's more like a trading hub, so the more specialized stores are not available here unless you just happen to have luck with the correct merchant being around. But yeah, the night guard is kind of like
just here to do my job, man.
You didn't roll 20, so I can't magically make it appear.
I just woke up to Ash. Pat, you're gonna be like this for a while. Better get used to it. Walk upstairs, go to bed.
Rude.
I just nod and try to find the closest keg of beer to take to my room.
You can ask the night guard. He's basically there just to provide people with if there's anything they need.
If there is a cask of ale, I'll take it.
He goes to the back and kind of comes dragging it back, but he hands you a keg. You have a keg of beer.
And I take it to my room and I empty it by drinking it.
Just bathe in it and...
Just soak in it.
Yeah.
See if the beer does anything for my skin.
And do the first.
You come out of your bath with luscious hair. It's
But
great.
still
Luscious.
like green and wrinkly and all warded up.
But your hair is
Sparkly
immaculate.
blonde hair.
Your hair is immaculate. Everything else looks,
Yeah.
yeah, but the hair.
That hair is...
So, roll just a general constitution or a 42 save.
For drunkenness.
That's 21.
So yeah, it's an entire keg. You don't go blind drunk.
You're fucking
you
knackered.
do notice it, but you
fucking
do go
knackered.
properly drunk, but you manage to at least hold on to yourself.
And after that, I just turn in for the night.
Okay.
If you had rolled lower than double digits, I think we would have just ended up having to spend the following morning finding her.
Yeah.
Holding up her hair.
Of course. She's in the keg. Oh.
Oh!
In the river. Oh.
Both of the that's not very responsible.
Ash, it's not a boat.
I just want to go fishing.
Oh, God.
Do you have to do both? Do you have to do everything in one go? Can you do it
Yes.
as distinct separate entities?
Yes.
No.
You can sit in your keg
Yes.
on the side of the water while
No.
fishing.
I mean, yes.
I mean, I don't know anymore.
Okay, so at this point we found her outside, sitting in a sitting on her
No, I'm
keg.
actually in my bed. Just
You're dreaming this.
sleeping it off.
If there's nothing else you guys want to do for the night,
No, just had it all hit the hay.
Nope.
so yeah, next morning comes around. Kids screaming outside.
Yeah, as the morning comes, I'd like to wake up and basically replace the bandages that I had put on to basically cover everything.
Yeah.
And use the sort of shawl that I had used for the poison prevention stuff prior as a sort of mouth mask. You can still see like this is all like haggard and slightly
So,
rotten,
yeah.
but most of it is covered in bandages.
You manage to cover up most of it, and a person who doesn't know you would mostly just see you as a older woman, nothing particular or special. Downstairs, breakfast is being prepared, and as you wake up, you already smell this faint, like fresh bread being made. And downstairs, the dwarven woman you met yesterday is working, making the breakfast, preparing at least. There's a few people sitting around already eating and drinking a bit, and she seems to be just doing her job, serving them and standing, or at least just waiting for more people to show up asking. So, how do you guys want to proceed?
So we're planning to go to the festival now?
Yeah.
Have we actually already met up with, our assignment givers?
Yeah, we actually we haven't been to see them
No.
yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
So we
Because we went
should
there
probably
late at
do
night,
that
yeah.
before we leave. Because, pay up.
We need that money. I need $1. $1 is a copyright strike.
All right, Breachill. That was it.
Yes, that's where we're going.
Breachill, then Alendar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we go.
I'd
We
say
go to the mayor.
We eat our
We go to
food.
Ronti.
So yeah, you guys return back towards the town hall. This time knowing a actual name or someone to approach about this.
Mm-hmm.
You inquire about him at the desk, and again, just like last time, the clerk kind of just gestures you towards the waiting area, and a few minutes later, the now familiar mayor comes to pick you guys up and leads you to his office.
Well, it wasn't-
I take the bag that had the hag head in it, Poof. Toss that on the floor in front of him. You had a hag.
He looks a bit perturbed, and he grabs the bag and carefully looks inside. And the moment he can kind of peek in, you see him just disgusted and just reel back, sets it on his desk, and just, a hag.
Yes.
It's weird. This close to town, but are you guys okay?
I pull the shawl down. As far as you consider a curse, okay.
I'm sorry to hear. At least you still have your life. Hags are nothing to scoff at. Hang on, and he walks behind his desk and starts rummaging through
I put the shawl back.
through the drawers, and he pulls out a small satchel and sets it upon the desk. A reward for this, and he glances around between the three of you, and his eyes linger on Ash for just a bit more, and he starts rummaging through the desk again, grabs a piece of parchment, seems to be quite fancy, and starts just writing up. Anyone reads Dwarvish? Okay. So
Joe.
Joe reads Dwarvish.
Yeah, apparently.
Just not common, so he can't.
No, yeah.
You can't translate.
No.
I could get it set up that someone could translate for Joe.
No, it's not on this one. But he actually knows a couple of languages, but it's not on this sheet.
He writes up a document and starts rolling it up and tying it. Makes it nice, like a bow tie with a piece of lint. He hands it to you. I'm not sure how this is gonna work out, but if you get to a temple or maybe as a favor towards me, they are willing to help at least.
Yeah, we tried the temple here last night, didn't work.
Yeah, I presume it's the hag who caused this, but
Yeah.
our priest over here is mostly focused for minor things, like at worst a broken bone. I mean, he's basically a doctor. A curse is something simply too powerful for a smaller town like us. So the note I made you, it basically asks for a favor, and I'm not sure if they are willing, but it's the only thing I can do to help.
Is there any temple nearby or any priest that you know of nearby that we can ask?
I think I'm no expert at these things, but I think the nearest place would be a major city.
Yeah, that's what the people at the temple
Yeah.
told us as well.
I can't imagine any of the smaller temples having anyone powerful enough to defeat this curse.
So you'd recommend us traveling to Aelinor?
It's up to you guys, depending on where you want to go.
We're heading to Breachill anyway, so
Most major cities have a larger temple with I think someone should be able to do it at least, but
all right. We'll ask. Thank you. No,
I'm sure I can do anything.
Pocket the scroll. It's part of the job.
I take the pouch. Look at what's in it.
You count a total of 50 gold.
Pocket
Why is it
change.
never a number that can be equally divided?
It can if you have 4 people.
Oh yeah.
Which is what most adventuring parties are balanced around. Where?
Or 2 people.
Or 5.
Or 5.
Well, one is dying, so yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
I throw my sword at the cat.
Bye, Joe. Okay, I count out the 50 gold pieces and divide it.
We are at 4. There's Joe. Just kidding.
12 pieces for the 2 of us, and then the remnants for Ash, because you're gonna need it. Pay for the
26 gold.
Well then, now that we're kind of done here.
Off to Breachill.
Yeah, I mean, if as is said, we should go to a major city to find you an avenue for curing.
Well, the plan was last time that we would go to Breachill first because we're going to meet a lot of adventurers there and they might know more on where to find the specific
There might even be some
person
people
we're
that
looking for.
might.
And if not, because it was on the way there anyway, then we go up to Alendar.
Yeah.
We start heading towards Breachill.
Okay.
Grab the carts, grab the display. Grab
So
the
yeah,
carts.
you say your goodbyes and again he apologizes towards you about this happening.
I just laughingly say, I'll send the bill your way.
He chuckles and
Nervously.
I'm like, no, I'm not paying that.
yeah, you say your goodbyes and you start heading towards Breachill. So yeah, Breachill is. Are you going on foot, by horse, or
By cart.
by car?
And cart and horse.
It was another 3 days to make it to Breachill.
It's about
Deliver
80
it
miles.
personally.
So yeah, it's gonna be 3 and a bit days, just slightly over 3 days.
3 and a bit.
Throughout the days that we're traveling, do I notice any changes, or is the curse like sort of stable?
The curse seems stable. It took like a few minutes for it to really settle on you, but it hasn't changed.
Is there some way that I kind of feel or know that I can do something to ward some of its effects off?
So yeah, this isn't gonna be your strong point, but make a occultism check.
I mean, I can help out with that
If you want, you can ask Aelinor and
Yeah, I reckon that in the journey I started talking to you
Yeah.
about like how we can lift this. So 14 on my end.
That is 17 on my end.
I am probably not gonna help much. It's a 5.
You're like,
I have no
No.
fucking clue.
so yeah.
this is magical.
You have some knowledge about magic, and some knowledge about magic more as a way of having experienced it. But
I just know it exists, that's all.
yeah, occult magic.
Would this be to identify magic?
It's not really identifying magic. It's more for the curse itself.
Would it be if it's identifying something of the sort, I get a +1 circumstance bonus to checks to identify magic from being a seer elf.
Oh, that
So that would make it an 18 instead of 17. I'm not sure if that changes anything.
changes nothing. No, so
No, fuck you.
occult magic is kind of out of your realm of expertise. You're more focused on the primal and arcane ways.
I focus on making stuff go boom.
Yeah, so
Pretty much.
occult magic like this is kind of strange and not very familiar. And
I
same
dislike
same for Ash. You have some experience with magic by now through Alendar, just from seeing him perform it, and but occult magic you haven't really encountered much of it before. You have the feeling the curse isn't really a very active thing, as it doesn't like affect people around you. It simply
It's also like when I'm trying to swing my sword around or something like that, it doesn't feel different. It's
No,
just
it-
that my hand looks different.
yeah, it seems it's mostly just a visual thing, and you can, as you've done up to now, you can hide yourself and just bandage it up, but there's not really like a actual magic effect constantly affecting you or people around you.
It's not like she randomly breaks her hip or something.
No.
We need to get a replacement.
Talking about like when my tea arrives and if there's biscuits
To
involved.
replace her kneecaps.
Yeah.
Beauty is skin deep. In this case, ugly is skin deep. You
The big
don't feel weaker or
Okay.
fragile or anything.
The shade.
Do we actually? We have a map, right, leading to Breachill.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why I know that it's precisely 3 days and
a bit.
say 5 hours traveling.
Yeah, it's roughly 80 miles, and you can travel about 24 miles a day. So it's like,
We'd arrive at like 3-ish.
yeah, a few hours. You could make just a power through on the last day. Considering it's a roughly 8 hours travel a day, it would be like 2-3 hours more tops. So it's
If we skipped pauses for like meals and stuff and went an hour early an hour earlier and went for an hour longer, changing it from 8 to 10 hours
in
3 days.
Yeah, it's mostly for the horses, not for you guys yourself, because you're just sitting.
Mm.
But it's more for the horses, not getting too exhausted.
The horses go dead.
For a shorter journey like this, it's not a big problem. Even if they get a bit tired, they can rest when you get there.
Yeah,
If you don't.
We'll give them a few days if we find someone who will help with this. On this dice roll.
And dice rolls, important. Just to make sure.
Everybody understands that you're still in charge.
A certain domination.
It's like a natural one.
No,
Let's see. Oh, damn it.
The highest roll you've had in weeks.
God damn.
Yeah.
I've learned, at least as a DM, just kind of keep rolling, even if you don't really need it. So
Yeah.
people don't know you're rolling for something.
Yeah, what you're
or-
rolling for.
My favorite thing to do is like stare somebody dead in the eye and make like a thinking face and then look down and roll the die.
And get a 1.
And then just continue with what you're doing.
Yeah, so sometimes I don't really need a roll for something, but I still do it, so just so you guys get kind of thrown off.
Oh no, what is he doing? Very aggressive roll.
Is that a 7 or a 1?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, it's the 7 right next to the 1.
Oh, close enough.
Same thing, effectively.
During this journey, the weather is starting to get a slightly colder.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, the prime summer months are over, and the temperature is starting to cool down a bit, and the weather is also starting to get a bit more cloudy and just more
It's a nightmare for my joints.
more depressing.
School is aching.
I wake up every morning, it's getting harder to get out of bed.
Hey, just put a number, Ash.
Yeah. Your age is better than my youngin'.
But yeah, the weather it's kind of nice for a change to have it a bit cooler instead of just the plain heat burning. And yeah, so it's a 3-day journey, a bit longer. As Alendar kind of looked at the map, he decided it's doable in 3 days if you make a real effort for it.
You sure you can handle it, Granny?
I kick Alendar off the cart.
Make an attack.
You cursed us with that mean.
Would that be an unarmed attack?
If it's a kick, it's unarmed. Yeah.
26.
I think it hits.
Yeah, that hits.
Natural 20 as well.
Oh, it hits. Let's see.
It hits and it crits and he's out.
That's a d6 plus my strength bonus, right, for me?
No, I think normal fist attacks.
I am trained in
No
martial
fisting, we're kicking.
and unarmed.
No, regular fist attack is 1d4.
1d4.
Or 1d4 doubled.
It's 4 plus 8. It's like you're sitting next to me making that joke and all of a sudden you just like gone.
I just fly out like, whee!
It's just on the way out you hit a nearby tree as we're passing by.
Ouchie, ouch.
You kind of feel the remark you just made. But yeah, besides flying out of the car,
I cast heal on myself to heal up.
And then run after the car.
I just keep doing it until I'm back up to full.
Wait, you only have you have 34.
Yeah.
It's like if you had killed me there, I
That
would
would
have killed
been
you.
really funny.
It would have, yeah. I'm
but
assuming
yeah,
that this is on like day 2.
Yeah, something like that.
On the night of day 2 to day 3, I transform one of the horses into a green horse. Press to digitate it.
you most certainly can.
Green horse.
Okay.
The
Something
joke
you
is
said.
going over my
Yeah.
head.
Never mind. I had it noted down like, okay, make a green horse. You said something.
I say a lot of things.
I know.
Should have added some context.
How could I add the context if I don't know what it is anymore?
We should have added it then.
Just write
Write it
down
down.
the precise circumstances of the joke so I can
Yes.
explain it.
Yes.
That would be a very Alendar move, yeah.
You just take like a full seminar, bring out the whiteboard. Halt the entire session for like 30 minutes just to really tell the joke.
I can explain to you the subtle cultural context.
You're just doing that stance where you're just kind of waiting for someone to get it.
And we're all like, let's move on, please.
Joe takes a dump and just leaves.
Because it's a shitty joke.
Joe pees the green coat off.
Sets the horse on fire for Vice with dinner. Like that scene from Ghost Rider where he's pissing fire.
I see what you did there.
Yes, very good. Horse's neck.
We keep moving.
Our ranger has suffered a stroke. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Everyone make a perception check.
No.
Never add a 10 to your roll for you.
That was a 7. Was 15.
15.
25.
That's a 16.
16, 16, 20. Almost there. Almost.
That's what she said.
I has found it.
Hast du es gefunden?
I have es gefunden. On the last day of the journey, somewhere in the afternoon, Aelinor, you start hearing a very faint, almost
Screaming.
scream, just like a child being murdered or something.
Screeching of a child dying as they are summoning Barstoon.
It sounds like music, like maybe a harp or something. You're not quite sure. It's quite
It's
distant.
still the screaming of kids. It sounds like music.
Yes, music to my ears. Sounds of slaughter, pain, misery, and death. I love it.
And some harps.
I mean, that's the accompaniment. That's the accompanying track. You hear that?
You hear that?
I really wonder if the mic picked that one up.
It's hard to say.
Hard to tell. It might have.
It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, so you hear a very faint music.
And I asked to the group, do you hear that? No.
Do we?
Do we actually?
After I pointed out, like, do you hear that?
As he
Faint sounds of harp.
points out, you guys kind of just quiet down and start listening. It takes some effort, but you manage to kind of pick it up. It does indeed sound like a harp, maybe. It's hard to identify from this distance, and even the source of the sound is a bit vague. It's very distant, but it seems to be kind of echoing just between the trees, and so it's hard to really locate. But it does seem to be very faintly, very steadily increasing in volume.
Think we're close to Breachill?
Who knows?
Would I know if we're close to Breachill, considering that I have the map?
You know you should still be like 10, 12 miles out, so
We're nowhere near Breachill. I mean, we're getting closer, but we still got a ways to go.
Is it coming towards us, or is it like we're going towards it?
you are going towards it.
Right, well, keep an eye out. Maybe some traveling minstrels.
Maybe, but if it's fake creatures, I don't think it would hurt to check.
I mean, if we're going in that direction anyway.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be better that if it is something bad, that we are not caught off guard?
Fair enough. I guess I jump off the cart and take Joe with me. And maybe we park it somewhere for now?
Joe, where the cart?
Yes. The cart, of course.
Yeah, we can check it out. Maybe one of us should stay behind the cart so it doesn't get stolen.
Shall I take a look-see and report back? Or
You two can go look. I'll know what's going on if you have my familiar with you. And a cat steps forward out of the shade.
wow, this cat came out of nowhere. I've got two of
essence.
them. Please don't make babies.
Well, one of them's tiny.
Where did you get a cat?
Yeah. When did you get a cat? Whose cat did you steal?
It's
Is it
not
the
an actual.
hags?
It's not an actual cat. It's magical.
Looks like a cat.
It looks like a cat, but it is not. It is magical.
Oh.
I've been working on this for the past few days, so don't worry about it. It tells me what it sees in my mind place.
Well then.
Your mind fortress.
My mind palace. And I send my familiar to climb up on Ash's shoulders.
All right.
Kind of like loops there as a shoal.
Does your magical... I'm not gonna say it. Does your magical cat have
Go
a
on,
name?
say it. Yes, it does actually. It's called Condra.
Okay.
So this won't interfere when we find something. It will just run off to tell you that.
That'll let
Something
me know
happened.
magically as long as we
Alright.
stay as long as it's within a mile or so.
Okay.
Let's go check it out.
All
I
right.
believe it's a mile.
Let's stealthily. Yes.
Nope.
God damn it.
Over stealthy.
13.
13.
I do appreciate that. Like even with a 4, I just go straight up to a 13,
I have a 23.
and she just vanishes. Meanwhile, in another dimension. BMCA.
Copyright. 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 Strike.
As you go, guys, kind of dart forward, following the noise. After a few minutes, you also start hearing the noise of a river flowing. It seems to be coming from the same direction. And the closer you seem to get, the music starts getting a bit more focused, more less echoey, and more like you can actually hear where it's
Can
coming
point
from.
the direction.
I found
And
the speakers.
Can we hear like different instruments? Like, can we determine how many instruments are being played?
it seems to be one single instrument, but it's hard to actually tell the exact instrument. It sounds harp-like, but somehow it sounds less rigid, less like a harp usually has just a very distinct sound, and this seems to be like something approaching a harp-like sound, but more like it's being mimicked, like it's trying to sound like it, but
Can we tell where it's coming from, like the direction?
make another perception check.
10.
16.
It seems to be coming from the same direction as the river.
Okay. Should we go to the river? Find out where the
Yep.
source of that
We'll
is?
just keep going closer to it, I guess.
Do we need to roll another stealth?
For now, not for now. As you guys get closer, the trees start to kind of open up just a bit, so you can get some viewing distance in. You see a river crossing, and following the path, just looking where the path is going, you see it leads towards a bridge, and the sound is coming from the bridge, but from this distance you don't really see anyone actually there.
How wide is the river? Can we cross it? Or do we need the bridge?
Am I with the cart heading towards the bridge? Is that the road?
Yeah,
in
it's
that
basically just following
Okay.
the road.
I'll slow down the cart, and before the bend, I'll stop and stow the cart.
If you want to get the cart across, you're gonna need to use the bridge. It's for a person, it's possible. The river is like 15, 20-ish feet wide. It's possible to cross, to just swim across, but for a horse with a cart, it's gonna be a bit more of a...
bit rough, yeah.
You're at like 60 feet distance from the bridge itself right now.
You were coming from the bridge as well?
I'd say let's check it out.
Quietly?
Yeah.
No.
No.
14.
Your dice really are cursed.
26.
Are you staying at a... Are you staying at a distance with the cart, or Aelinor? Are you staying at a distance? You're just beyond you're at like 60, 70 feet.
As I stop the cart, do I see them?
Oh, you're staying behind them, right?
No, I was staying with the cart, just going up the road a little bit, but considering that they went towards the water, I follow it a bit.
They are at about 60, 70 feet from this bridge, and you're staying a bit behind them. The forest and the road are not like very bendy, and the forest isn't very compact, so it's possible to keep an eye out on them at like 30 feet distance.
I'd have probably stayed behind a little bit further.
Yeah? Yeah, it's possible to keep an eye out on them, but yeah, the farther out they go, the more trees are just going to be in between. So
I know roughly what's happening with them because of...
yeah, you can roughly see what's happening. You can see movement, but it's just hard to see details from this distance. As you silently approach towards the bridge, make another perception check.
Should I also roll for Kandra?
Yeah, you can make another.
That's a 13.
It's just you. Oh, so
It's,
close.
12.
Let's say 15.
15. Okay, so it's 15.
13.
12.
This is going well.
The one natural 20 was for team damage.
Was me off the cart.
You all do see on the middle of the bridge, just on the rail on the side, there's like a small. It's hard to tell from this distance. It seems to be something like just maybe a rock or a doll or something. It's just like a small hump. It's basically on the side of the railing, and the sound seems to be emanating from somewhere around this.
Would I be able to discern if there's anything else on the bridge?
This is the only thing you actually really notice about the bridge.
Okay.
The only thing standing out.
You just want to go?
Yeah. I mean, so far we're not getting much out of it.
Except for a bunch of twigs in places that I don't want to. We move towards the bridge.
You move towards the bridge? Okay. Do you want to keep going stealthily or?
Yeah.
Okay, roll another stealth check.
Lord.
One for the familiar as well. And I kind of forgot, what's Joe doing?
He's following me.
And the stealth roll for Joe as well.
27.
26.
21 for me, and a 13 for Joe.
Suddenly the forest behind us is on fire. We had no idea. We thought it was just a very warm day.
Would it make Joe more stealthy? Just a forest fire, just jump in and he's gone.
Who's gonna check the fire for a cat?
Seems to be going well. Stealthily approaching the bridge.
But?
Until Joe. He seems to just be unlucky and he very cliche steps on the twig. And there's just a faint snap and the music coming from the bridge stops.
What do we see?
You guys see the figure starts moving and starts getting up.
Contra being alarmed tells me to get my ass here.
If you want, you can start.
Yeah, I'm starting.
Okay.
Bolting at them.
So yeah, you're about roughly. If you're staying just behind them, if they are at the bridge right now, you'd be at roughly where they were before. So
yeah,
the thing which on the bridge seems to stand up, and it's hard to differentiate. It seems to be almost like a big insect.
Oh Lord.
But somehow it has human-like features as well. What you see is this. It's tiny. It's like a quite a big one, but it's more like the size of a maybe a hamster.
Okay.
But it seems to have like the lower body of a like a insect.
Like a mantis?
A mantis
Kind of?
or like a maybe a cockroach or at least a insect like.
The cockroach.
The cacarocho.
But its upper body seems to be
Human.
more human or almost elf-like even.
Okay. Something somewhere went horribly wrong.
It's a centaur roach. With wings. It's a winged
You
centaur
by any
roach.
chance from
Hobo,
Chernobyl?
this is a dragon in my
It's a bug from Chernobyl.
Chernobyl?
Yeah.
It seems to be. It has the upper body of
It's a
a
bog
elf-like, lower body of something like a mantis or at least a insect. And it's tiny, like a hamster size. Or
It's a pretty big bug.
for a bug, it's quite big. For a elf, it's quite tiny.
Do we squish it?
It,
Roll
it-
for squish.
it's as Joe snaps the twig, it stops playing its music.
Yeah.
It gets up and you starts turning around, spotting you guys, and heads towards you.
Okay, does it seem friendly at this point, or does it seem like it wants to, like, I don't know, eat us?
Does it want to give me a hug or my sword?
It doesn't. It seems to be approaching quite cautiously, but you don't
Which I do.
really notice any aggression toward coming from it.
Okay. That's a first.
It gets a bit closer, but it seems to be keeping its distance. About 15 feet out from you guys, it jumps off the railing and starts flying and hovering around. And it starts circling, just going around you, this entire group. Just it seems to be curious, mostly just looking at you guys, and it doesn't seem aggressive.
Okay.
Ever seen one of these guys before?
I don't think I have.
Make
do
a,
I know anything about?
Make a nature check. If you want, you can do as well. Nature.
Where's my nature? Over there. That is a 20.
16 for
Total.
me.
Eleanor, you recognize it.
Okay.
You've never really seen them before, but you've heard of them and kind of know about them. This seems to be a Grig. Grig.
Okay.
Grigs are kind of like musicians of the Fey creatures. They tend to be quite curious, and they have a almost like a habit of just confronting evil, and just they tend to kind of get themselves into trouble. They, for their size and their strength, they tend to just go at things just too big, too strong for them.
Alright. So they're stubborn little fuckers.
Yeah, not necessarily evil, more just annoying even.
As
But
fairies
they
usually tend to be.
they just have a very bad
Punchable
sense
face.
of judgment about what to actually challenge and what might be a bit too challenging for their
Alright.
being.
So I think our best bet is just to ignore it and move on.
As far as you know, they're not really hostile.
Mhm.
Mostly just
Curious and weird.
yeah. Fake creatures to start off with are often more animal-like, more just curious, and most of them are not always just plain hostile.
Alright.
They can be mischievous. It's a hard distinction. For
like,
now, it's just
it's kind of just
kind of
circling
circling.
us.
So, do we hit it? Do we leave it?
I mean, they don't really pose much harm to us, so I guess we, just leave the critter for what it is.
Alright, now just
Keep an eye on your things.
Just get up and start walking normally.
Okay.
Do we just move on?
Yeah?
Alright, let's go then.
You guys start walking, and it keeps.
I do
kinda-
want to keep like an eye on it
Yeah.
as we.
It seems to be doing roughly the same, just mostly circling, and it's getting ever so slightly closer.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell it's still being cautious, mostly with Joe
Fair enough.
sitting in the flames. But as you guys start crossing the bridge, about halfway across, it seems to be kind of start losing its interest. and it starts going back towards the spot where it was, just on the railing.
Well, that was an intense encounter.
And as it's sitting there, it starts kind of like rubbing its legs on its body in a very weird way.
Okay, it has like 8 legs for context.
But you start hearing this music again.
Okay.
So it's basically a fake cricket.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
I guess at this point I've run back to the cart and I've starting moving the cart across as well.
Okay, so yeah, you start riding the car towards the bridge. I want everyone at the bridge, so the both of you, your familiar, and Joe, to make a will save.
Aha!
Aha! Done!
Aha!
That is a 25 for me. And a 19 for Joe.
That is a 13 for Kandra.
And 27 for me.
Yeah,
25.
25.
Yes.
And Joe had 19.
19.
Okay.
Yes.
As you guys are crossing the bridge, you guys notice the music, and it seems to be a different tune from before, and it sounds slightly different, but it's kind of catchy, but nice. But as you're walking, both cats kind of start just
One of them starts humping my throat.
Bouncing.
they kind of start just bouncing and just they seem to be kind of caught up by the music, and they start slowing down a bit, and they're still walking with you.
We're
But
watching cats now.
yeah, they're
For reference.
they seem to
Literal
be
cats
kind of
one
focused
of
on
them's
music.
literally wrapped around her.
around my neck.
Yeah.
Cats the movie.
Yeah, I know.
It's just kind of just going with the music, and Joe as well is kind of more like just bouncing.
They're doing the puff puff dance.
It's kind of cute to see, but yeah, you guys can cross without a real problem.
Without
Alendar
having
gets
fun.
Gets her, and it's a full recreation of the Smooth Criminal clip.
As you approach with the car,
I mean, I can tell that this is happening because of the connection with Kandra.
the moment you get close enough, you start hearing the
Mhm.
music properly as well.
Explaining why the cats are like.
While your mental feet is just doing this.
So
Bopping to the
make
music.
a wheel save as well.
That is a 19.
So yeah, as you're riding across the bridge, you start feeling the music as well, just bopping along.
You've been hit by, you've been struck by a
Smooth criminal.
And so do the horses.
Oh boy.
So all of a sudden the horses would
Now,
pair up.
I really want to see the horses do the Thriller dance. Just go like, hey.
Just on the hind legs.
All of a sudden all the animals start going in.
You know that really weird horse riding game on, I think it was on PC, with the horse just going like that the whole time.
Oh man.
As they dance the Thriller dance, would I be able to recognize what it is, considering my background and...
Yes, it's Michael Jackson.
Make a nature check as well.
Do we know the horses? That the horses are dancing now.
You can, if you look.
you just see the horses just... I rolled a 21.
So yeah, you recognize this as well as a Grig. Same as Aelinor. You know they are basically half elf, half cricket, and they tend to be more just mischievous and sometimes just idiots in challenging stuff they shouldn't. But
A part of me is like concerned that this is like some kind of way to hypnotize them, and then they're gonna turn into like straight up murder machines when the song is over.
Okay.
they're mostly harmless. They can pose a threat, but considering the size and the fact with how many people you
Mhm.
are, it doesn't seem to be a real danger.
I humor the little guy and start clapping.
While shaking your butt.
Yeah.
He
Or just rare parroting while clapping.
he gives a slight bow and just keeps playing.
Meanwhile, I'm just standing up, scratching my head over everyone, like twerking and shit.
Or Joe's just working in the background. Oh god!
Yeah, we just got the Hakuna Matata segment of this campaign out of the way.
Kind of imagine like a disco ball just dropping down from a tree and just. But
Just a
yeah.
bunch of beetles on a ball.
It takes a bit longer than it should, with the horses basically dancing.
At some point, I asked the Greek to stop playing just for a few minutes, promising that I'll be an audience for like 5 minutes if we can get the cart through.
He hesitates, but he complies and he stops playing, and the horses kind of calm down and manage to cross.
I stay on the bridge for 5 minutes, listen to him play.
Meanwhile, we're just standing there on the other side,
Like,
wondering why
what is happening?
you just stopped and got off the cart.
So yeah, he starts playing a bit, and he starts making a real effort towards it. Before he was more like just dealing, just jamming a bit, but now he seems to be with a actual audience. He's gonna go for
One strange
performance.
helmeted
Like he
figure.
pulled out a light show and there's like smoke everywhere.
but about this size.
Yeah.
No, he kind of starts using some of his other legs as well, and he starts almost just playing a solo band.
Just a one-man band on a bridge playing with himself.
And everyone's just watching, you know.
This is not a performance, this is an exhibitionist.
It kind of changes. Before it was more folk-like.
Mm-hmm.
After you,
No, it actually turns into Thriller.
He starts playing the Trooper by Iron
he
Maiden.
goes more for like a jazz trio, and you hear like a bass play, a small, almost just a Smith and rhythm, just clicking and thumping.
Using his
And a
forehead as the
trumpet.
kick drum.
And yeah, you hear something almost horn-like coming somehow from it. It's weird. It's weird seeing basically a cricket rubbing its legs together, and somehow a saxophone produces. But it happens. It's magic, and it's a nice performance.
It's Pathfinder, get over it.
It's fantasy.
He seems to perform like a few songs, and he kind of goes for another bow, and with that he comes up to you just a bit closer,
Mm-hmm.
almost just like waves you goodbye, yeets off.
It steals all your money.
Stab you in the front.
Shanks me. Yeets me off the side.
You don't know this, but you now have bombs installed inside you. What?
You are now.
I wave the Greek goodbye and then catch up with the rest.
Takes off
Going.
his mask and it's Takeshi Kitano. We're now back on the set of Battle Royale. Just
But yeah, so as you cross the bridge, you start getting into the cart again. And, you guys can resume your travel.
I now imagine that Cricket played a one-man band interpretation of Tank, the opening to Cowboy Bebop.
that's a mental image I didn't need today.
Not too bad, it's Pathfinder, you've got it. Cricket playing Tank.
How does he slap the bass though?
Does that
The same way that he plays all his music.
By rubbing himself?
Yes. It sounds like it's played by a synthesizer. We'll put it that way.
Just think like Power Rangers. Yeah, it's like a flute thingy. Plays like a flute, sounds like a
Dinosaur.
sounds like a synth trumpet, and he's playing it through his helmet and just
Yeah,
yes.
wasn't it a knife that sounds like a flute?
Yeah, something like that. It's a knife. He plays like a flute through his helmet, and it sounds like a synthesizer trumpet
And
or saxophone.
Someone's a
something.
giant robotic eagle.
So yeah,
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
just yes.
Since it may not. Fun, it was.
Yeah, I had to take a note about the Crick performance.
You're now going to hear Tank popping up every now and then.
Just in the distance.
In the middle of the night. While you're
like
sleeping.
just
He's
kind of
following
imagine
us.
this Grick like as a battle bard. Just follow you guys. Just play the battle team every time. You guys just calling for a dungeon. All of a sudden, battle music.
Belfort Big Bridge starts playing.
But yeah, you guys can just keep your journey going. There's nothing else you want to do during this journey?
No. Alendar finds themselves humming along to the song every now and then.
It's quite catchy.
The horses, they start
Kind of just
jamming
ever so
along.
faintly just bopping along.
These horses having an existential crisis. Why do I understand what music is now? I can smell the colors.
That tasted purple.
Roughly, it's a bit after dinner, but still, it's in the evening. You guys reach Breachill. Is there anywhere particular you want to go first, or
Well, what's there to do in Breachill?
What is there to see?
Yeah.
Besides the festival.
it seems to be quite a simple town, fairly large. So as you guys enter, there's like a main road just going through the town, and it leads up towards a bridge. As you guys get to the bridge, you can kind of look around a bit more, and you can tell this town is basically split in two by the river. So there's more like a living the living spaces on one side, and more like the shops and the more functional buildings seem to be on the other side.
I've been spelling it wrong for 3 sessions in a row now.
Breachill?
Yeah. I wrote Breech Hill instead of Bridge Hill.
Breach.
Yeah,
to breach.
technically it's a Breachill. I kind of just make Breachill from it. But yeah, it's up to you where to head to first. Is there anything you want to start looking for, or?
I would first like to look for an inn, if
Mhm.
possible,
Okay.
around town as we make our way here.
Then we can at least park the cart.
Yeah, find some lodgings, then
Mhm.
ask for information there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send a map in the Discord so you guys can kind of figure it out. So you guys entered from the northwestern side.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What the heck's name is the Pickleer?
Sounds like an inn.
So what time?
Or a butcher.
Where did we came in from?
From the northwest.
Northwest. Okay. Next to Vosker's Cards on Wheels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we have a mortuary. How good.
So I'm just gonna make this a bit easier on the lore. As you enter, there's almost just like a tourist, just for travelers, because this town is specialized in using adventurers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of know adventures. They want to know where can I find the inn, where can I find this, where can I find the wizard, and they basically just consolidated everything into a flyer, and at the entrance they kind of just hand you a flyer and just all the easy info. It has a crude map on the back and some info about where where's the inn, where's the town hall, just the basic info.
Kind of reminds me of the of that entry sequence when in Shrek when they enter Lord Farquaad's town.
Oh, Lord.
Animatronics.
Yeah.
Is there something akin to a temple on this this map?
I see some potential.
See, wizard.
Or the Great Dream House. Sheelan's Smile, that might be.
I've added another file in the Discord. It's part of the campaign we're basically gonna do, but it also has all the info for new players, for easiness sake. And it also has the map somewhere toward the end, and some of the simple things you can do during this
Oh,
campaign.
yeah, the dream house is a temple. And then which one's the inn?
There's basically a dive bar.
What was it? Cadence Cake?
Cadence Keg, yeah, and
Pickled ears is the way.
and the pickled air
bar.
is a more like a dive bar. So yeah, it's a bit up to you how you guys want to proceed. You wanted to go towards a temple.
Yeah, it might be better to first drop off at the inn,
Mm-hmm.
but then first order of business, find a local temple.
Yeah.
There's two.
Yeah, there's the dream house.
There's the Dream House and Sheilan's Smile.
Right.
Doubles up as a temple as well.
Let's visit the actual temple first. Well, first the inn.
Artisan Guild and Temple to show you goddess of art, beauty, and love and music.
Beauty.
Fair enough.
As you head towards the inn, most of the town folks seem very excited, very friendly.
More adventurers, woo!
Yeah, in most towns, adventurers are kind of just considered, neutral. They're kind of just around, so people don't really notice them most of the time. Don't really bother them, or just they're part of life. But here, it seems like people are really, really friendly, really almost overjoyed to see adventurers arrive. It's a weird but pleasant feeling to be this appreciated by the people.
We don't have to solve our problems ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Potential employment, yes.
That's us. Money!
Wow. Do you want to head towards the Cadence Keg or the?
Let's head to Cadence Gig.
Yeah. Park the cart. Get some lodging.
So yeah, as you get to the Cadence Keg,
Feed the horses.
you are met by a female human. She introduces herself as Brian, which you can see in the.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
She's also a priestess. Okay.
multifunctional,
Mm-hmm.
multitask.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys go through the basics, arranging for some food. It's not crazy late, but it's past dinner time, so you are starting to feel a bit peckish. But she arranges some food and housing for the horses and somewhere to stall the cart. You want to ask about the temple, or
Yeah.
her being also basically the priest? She asks you to come by the next morning, and she'll at the temple. She will make a proper diagnosis, basically, make a proper examination. She thinks she might be able to help. She's not sure, but if there's anyone able to, it would be her. So she's kind of busy right now working the inn. If there's anything else, you can still visit the temple for just the basic healing, but yeah, just from a glance, she can tell this curse is gonna be a bit. It's gonna take some effort.
All right. Well, I guess we'll take some rooms at the inn and settle in for some town exploration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She hands you a few keys for the rooms, and gives you another just kind of like a welcoming speech. In the inn is a more detailed, just a better version of the map, which is drawn on the back side of the flyers you guys have.
Mm.
And she kind of just points around where all the landmarks are, and just kind of reiterates everything which is on the flyer, just to help you guys get some info. And it's a pleasant evening. It's a bit cloudy, but there's no rain, so it's a nice enough moment to just go explore, prance around in town.
All right. So now we're here. What are we gonna do?
Well, we were here to either help you and take part in the festival.
When is the festival? Can we inquire about the festival?
Wasn't it
Like,
perpetually?
did we even get on time here for it?
The way this festival works is basically it's like a monthly thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is gonna be in a few days, so you haven't missed the upcoming one. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, as it's basically every month, so even if you miss it, you can just go and go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
It's more the tasks being awarded or at least being given. They are kind of time dependent. So if you miss a month, a task might have already been fulfilled by other adventurers, or the problem might have evolved, or basically you can just go every month. Yeah, how do you guys want to proceed for now?
I'd say we get a little bit of a lay of the land.
Yeah, kind of explore the town a bit, see.
Start with the curse.
Yeah.
Well, the proprietor said that she will be able to try to help me lift it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a stroll around town, I guess. It is around dinner time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or past dinner time?
It's past dinner time. If you can, the inn is already serving food, so you can stay in the inn and eat some dinner first.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Just grab something to eat.
Yeah, we could all just sit down for dinner, have a drink, then kind of wander off into town.
So, just to make so you guys know, it's right now it's the 12th of the month.
Mm-hmm.
It's Toil Day, which would be a Tuesday for us. Coming Friday, Fire Day in this calendar, the 15th will be the town hall meeting, or the day of the festival, basically. So yeah, just to make sure, so you guys can plan around it.
Let's get drunk for 3 days.
Yeah, so I'm at least having some food.
Yeah, I'm gonna join in on that.
She starts, or at least she kind of shouts to the back, and some meals are being prepared for you. Doesn't take very long, but some plates come out of the kitchen, and you guys have a nice, just proper meal. It's been a while for you, after traveling first like almost 2 weeks and spending like 1 or 2 days in the inn and going on traveling again. So these proper meals in the inn are always a highlight of just the journey, and it's nice to have a nice meal.
So, what are we gonna do for the next 3 days?
I see that they have a bookstore.
Well, now we know where we'll find you for the next 3 days.
Maybe once. Let's see what they have. We might also want to get in touch with the Pathfinder Society, send Pathfinder Society and Almas a message that we've completed the job.
Yeah, how does that work, actually? Did we ever ask?
I believe it was through expiry that if it wasn't renewed, it was assumed to be done. Being just like a job board, we took it, and if it hadn't been completed fast enough, they would just put it back up again.
That would be fair, yeah.
Okay.
So I'd like to see if we can send word to the Pathfinder Society, see if they just let them know that the job's been done, so they don't have to worry about reposting it.
Is there a thing as a mailing service here?
I'm sure we'll find a courier somewhere.
Kinda, yeah. You can
fax it.
You can go for an actual courier. It would be a bit more expensive. You can, which often happens, is just ask a merchant or someone traveling in the correct direction to basically ask them, can you take this letter with you? And there's spellcasting services for a direct message, but those are a whole lot more expensive.
We'll find a courier or a merchant or something. I'll spend some time working on that tomorrow.
Alright. And you?
I guess I'll spend my time looking around town, seeing when other adventurers come in, and I don't know, maybe just converse and get to know a few people. Could be handy in the long run, you never know.
Being social.
Yeah. Not my strong point. Mind you.
Make a society check.
Oh god.
Oh god, it's already starting.
I take that back.
Nope.
That's a 4.
You make a serious attempt at being social. It seems to stay at attempt.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
It's approaching everybody with a forced smile, like, hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, it's weird. You're kind of used. You're preparing yourself for having a conversation with people, and you're kind of used to the most city folks being kind of neutral by being not really jerks, but after themselves. But in this town, people are so goddamn friendly. It's the moment you try to approach them, they flood over you with
like pretty
with
much just want
niceness
to hug the hell out of you, and I'm just like,
and it scares you off in
great. When do we leave?
That's the thing. We don't.
You do notice, going around there, don't seem to be a lot of adventurers yet.
Okay, so you came a bit early.
Yeah, and as Brian was explaining back in the end, it's a monthly thing, so it just depends
We
on
rushed here,
people.
but there was no need to.
Basically, yeah. And sometimes it might even happen there are no adventurers or like just 30 of them. Because it's not a yearly thing, so people tend to not really rush with going there.
Yeah, right.
It's not Adventure Con.
I thought it would be.
I guess if it's the very evening that we get there,
Yeah,
Alendar's
it's like
also-
7, 8-ish. When
in that case, Alendar's also going to be asking around a bit.
4?
Just like getting to know some people.
Okay, yeah, make a society check as well.
You can just roll on your.
No, I can't. I have this thing for a reason. That would be a 25.
So, yeah, you go around and it's like most people are almost just willing to give you a tour through the town, and
Oh, please, no need.
most of it seems to be, most of it you kind of already know and heard. It seems to make sure new adventurers don't have to just go and ask around town every time. They made basically these flyers and these kind of guides to help people around. But yeah, going around, you do see a few nice places. One of them being the Monument Circle, and it seems to be kind of like the highlight of the town. It's point 8, and it seems to be like just a very nice looking centerpiece just to the town. But yeah, you kind of make a round and make sure you kind of know where's the bookstore. I want to visit tomorrow probably, so you already kind of at least know, and so you've seen it before. Yeah, is there anything else you want to do this evening or this night?
I asked the people that are showing me around if there's any good bars for bar fights. Not for me, mind you. I'm not a huge drinker, helmet and everything, but the companion of mine is a huge fan of fighting.
Well, apparently the Wizard's Grace is where all the adventurers go for the festival, so you might find someone in there.
Yeah, and if not, there's the pickled ear, which is also just the more rough
Prune.
bar.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
They happily oblige.
Yeah.
Before you know it, there's posters all around town about a potential bar fight going on there tonight. Entertainment! Yes. Everyone's placing bets already. They don't even know who it is.
Is it the resident champion or the newcomer? How many newcomer is this?
We lost count.
I don't remember. Yeah. So basically, Alendar does that and then goes to bed.
Okay. Anything Ash wants to do?
I'm just gonna take it easy for now and get sloshed.
You take it easy and get sloshed. So yeah,
and then try to find my bed.
After my monstrous failure at trying to fit into the city life, I scramble back to the inn. Like my ass is on fire, thank you, Joe. And I just head to my room.
You don't join in getting sloshed.
No.
It's a lively evening. It seems that the town folks are just very happy to welcome you, and Brian, for example, is also just very curious to talk to you about your adventures, about what you've been through, and just everyone seems to be very just welcoming and very friendly of getting to know you. And
The question is, does it seem sincere?
make a what's it, insight, or is it a
Society.
Or do we end up in that little town and help cousins and everyone just a big cult?
make a society check.
4.
Seems
Nice
genuine.
job.
People are friendly. Next day, you wake up in a bathtub full of ice.
With no kidneys.
No kidneys.
God damn it, it's all my kidneys.
A flaming cat in the in the bedroom, and us missing.
That's not new.
And instead, we find 2 penguins in the bed.
What are the penguins doing?
I don't know.
You just found them there.
I mean, just trying to imagine what the hangover would be like in a town like this.
2 ice cold rats.
Did we get a estimated time on when we would go to the temple?
Not really specific, more just in the morning, but she didn't really state a exact time.
I would basically like to go there as early as possible.
Okay. So yeah, it's early in the morning, like 5-6 ish. Some people are already up and kind of doing the thing. But you head towards the... Which temple do you want to go to?
The one that Bryn told us about.
So she points you towards the Great Dream House. And as you get there, she and another priest are already kind of setting up and preparing. This other priest is a male elf, and he seems to be from a other deity. At least the symbol he is carrying seems to differ.
Do I recognize it?
Make a religion check.
No.
You don't.
3.
It's a different religion or a different deity.
This is a triangle and not a circle.
They kind of welcome you in, but they seem to have a kind of sincere, just a almost stern demeanor.
Like Bryn's entire demeanor has changed from as a proprietor to priestess.
Yeah, but they are not the only people here. There are some more just random priests, almost just working, and they seem to be in the more joyful mood, like all the villagers. These two, they seem to be focused on what they are about to do for you. So as you approach, they welcome you, and they start asking about how did you end up like this. I can tell, but
We were in Navarne for another assignment for the Pathfinder Society and found a hag that we had to fight against.
so yeah, as you mentioned, a hag, you see them both tense up a bit. Just hearing the word hag kind of gives them a clue as to how this predicament for you is, how powerful this might be, or it seems to be for most people who know about curses, knowing it's from a hag kind of seems to be make a big difference.
Okay. So from my understanding, I needed to find a priest more powerful than the people who attended the temple in Navarne. They tried to help me, didn't work.
I can imagine it's a powerful curse. Is the hag in question still alive?
No.
It's gonna make it even harder. They look at each other and they seem to be discussing about how to approach this. And
Can I listen in on them to hear if it's like anything?
make a religion check.
17.
They're talking about some rituals basically to break the curse, and most of it seems to be a bit above your understanding, but you do kind of make out they intend to perform a ritual to remove this curse. And as they're kind of just stating some stuff they need for again are towards each other, they're just kind of like listing some stuff they need and kind of just going through the motions or discussing it. And as they kind of list the stuff they need, Brian perks up and walks towards the back. And after a few minutes, she comes back. She seems slightly worried, talking to Kellen about stuff, and they come up back to you. So, good news and bad news. Which one do you want first?
Start with the bad.
We can't complete the ritual right now. We are lacking a few material components.
Such as?
We need about 2 plants, one being called a creeping mangrove, the other being a phaedra. Good news is they are quite local, but can be kind of hard to find. You have to go slightly deeper into the woods to find them. But I think we should be able to lift this curse with this ritual. So I'm gonna see if I'm gonna look around, see if anyone has some of these herbs left. But I'm afraid someone's gonna have to go out and gather them. So
Want me to wait here until you're back? And then, otherwise I can just go into the woods and try to find them.
I can help.
Are you there?
Give me purpose.
Do you want to go along, or did you want to go along with?
I
Ash?
mean, yeah. I don't have much else to do.
Okay. so yeah, as you're having this discussion, Eleanor's kind of just standing in the back.
I will take it.
I volunteer as a tribute.
I will take the ring to Modo.
So yeah,
Although,
Brian kind of she explains about the herbs needed. And I'll go around town and see if anyone has them left, but I'll be right back. And she heads off. And Kellen, the other priest, kind of keeps explaining. And I think we should be able to break this curse. It's gonna be a tough one, but if we manage to get the last materials, it should be doable. How well versed are you in botany? And he kind of just goes between the two of you. Or
I just look at her.
I mean, I spend most of my time around nature. I know some things. Do I?
Well, you guys did defeat a hag, so I don't think the woods around here should be any real problem. Yeah, how about, can I ask it, I don't feel right asking this of the person needing it, but if you guys can manage to find some of it, hopefully bring a bit more so we can stock up again. We can probably lift or start the ritual the moment you get back.
Would that cover the curse, the cost of lifting this curse?
The other components would be about 10 golds. It's not a lot, but if you bring more of these components along, we'll consider it against the cost. So the more you bring, the less expensive.
Alright. So do we wait for Bryn to return, or should we just head out?
Yeah, let's wait for her to return. Maybe someone in town already has some, but
Alright.
And if not, we know how much we need.
so yeah. For now, just have faith, and with some luck, by tonight you might even be free of this curse.
Let's hope so.
What are you doing in the meantime?
I will probably start out by going to the bookstore. At the bookstore, would probably ask what kind of books do you sell here?
It's mostly academic stories, history, stuff like that. But if there's anything really specific you're looking for,
I am from a tribe that is in a location in a forest that is perpetually in autumn. Like the leaves are always colored, etc., etc. And I have been given the quest to go to locations where it is perpetually summer, or perpetually winter, perpetually spring. Go there, spread knowledge, return. And I'm looking for some clues as to where these locations might be, because I would have no idea where to start looking.
I can imagine the trouble. She kind of ponders, and she starts going through her books, kind of motions towards a halfling in the back. And he comes up and they discuss it, and you see them kind of go through the bookcases, and he points at it, and you see her think, and after about 10 minutes they come back, and I don't think we have anything you're looking for right here at the moment, but
That is unfortunate.
I can send out a message, make an inquiry about it, see if maybe someone else, or maybe at the archives they might be able to at least find a clue in which direction for you to.
The archives?
Yeah, the Breachill archives. They're across from the town hall. It's mostly focused on the history around this area itself, but I mean, an archivist might be able to at least point you in the right direction of where to look for this. I can relate to how hard this would probably be to find. It's very specific.
I could always go to the archives myself but first I have to confer with the rest of my party as to what their plans are. So
If you head to the archive, just ask for Jorel. I mean, he's your best bet for this. Are you staying here for the festival?
Yes, that is the plan. So.
So yeah, if you're gonna be here for a few more days, I'll keep searching. Maybe I'll find something. I'll keep an eye open for
Thank you. Could you maybe tell me a little bit about the history of the festival? Like, where did it start? Why is it a tradition that continues to reiterate itself?
This town was originally founded and even saved by a adventurer, and the local lords and they kind of just ignored us. But the heroes of our town are just adventurers, just travelers. So we kind of just adhered to this notion of them being our saviors. So
Okay.
and it's quite a old tradition by now. But yeah, Jorel might be able to. He's more knowledgeable about the actual town history. I'm more of the more academic nature.
Okay. Well, very well. Since we're on the topic of books and stuff to do with paper, would you be able to tell me where I might be able to go to identify spells or find spell scrolls, books related to magical lore, etc., etc.? Or would that be here?
That would be here.
Okay. I'll know where to go if I ever need a further reading.
Well, happy to see you, and happy to see you back. So I'll keep an eye open.
Thank you very much.
And she kind of nods towards you, and so does the halfling. Anything else you want to do?
Might go check up with them.
Did you tell Alendar where you go? Where you went?
No, I just went off, but I kind of assumed that he overheard the initial conversation with the proprietor.
Going back to the inn, you don't see the other two, but
I did not hear the conversation.
It's up to you to find us, buddy.
as you get back to the inn, your party is not there.
I'll go and look for them without really asking anyone.
Make a society check.
That is a natural 2 for a total of 10.
You start asking around, and
Have you seen a flaming cat passing by?
most
Probably pretty
people
memorable.
don't seem to. They kind of know who you. When you're describing who you're looking for, they kind of know. Most people saw yesterday. News already kind of like spread. Oh, new adventurers! They haven't really seen her, and it takes you by about half an hour until someone kind of finally manages to point you towards the temple.
Okay.
So by the time Alendar arrives, so does Bryn. She comes running up back to Kellen, and you see her slightly disappointed, telling him she couldn't find any of the herbs in town, and she starts inquiring. Maybe, I mean, it's rude, but should we maybe ask them to? And you kind of overhear this, but they're talking just to each other.
I step in and say, "Don't worry, we already cut a deal."
Yes.
Eager to get back into the woods. I'm like, help.
Do you have a visual descriptor of the creeping mangrove ephedra?
Yeah. She
Like a small drawing or something?
She walks to the. Hang on, and she walks to the back and comes back and kind of makes a rough sketch of what the plants look like.
Do I know these plants?
Make a nature check.
That is a 17.
You vaguely know these names, but you also know between alchemists, just botanists, witches, most people kind of have their own naming scheme. So a single plant might have like 4 or 5 names depending on who you ask.
Yeah, okay.
So from the description and the drawing, you kind of vaguely think you know them, but not the names they go by here.
No, but I would be able to recognize them.
Yeah, recognize them wouldn't be a problem.
Alright.
But yeah, there's a small description added about roughly where to find them, how to harvest them, where to go basically for this. So yeah, you have your instructions.
Does she recognize the drawings?
Yeah, from the drawings she can tell which plants these are, combined with the description about where to find them, where to go. Even it shouldn't be a big problem.
Alright.
As So we'll walk out, kind of give Alendar a little bit of a nod. Good timing. We're about to do some gardening. Let's go.
Sure, I guess. Where are we going?
Into the forest.
Nice and specific. Do we need to take the car with us?
No, not for this one.
Okay, good. Keep my show.
And we head on out into the forest.
To be continued.